Show. Listen, we have a great show lined up for you. I'm your host, Kim Jacobs, better known as the Balance Doctor. And all of our guests that come on, they're either people that have overcome some tremendous odds in their own lives as they balance this thing called life, or they're experts and they're here to share tips and strategies that will help you better balance and manage your life. Grab your virtual seats and let's get ready for some real relevant and relatable content on today's episode of The Kim Jacobs Show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of The Kim Jacobs Show. Yes, my cheeks are burning because I'm doing this whole thing where I'm having multiple guests on in one whole hour. So I'm super excited that on the first half of today's episode, we have with us Shannon Anderson. How are you, Shannon?
I'm fantastic. How are you today, Kim?
I'm doing wonderful and so glad to have you here today. Where are you located?
I am located actually not far from you. I am in Johnson City, Tennessee.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I read in your bio, a Tennessee mom. That's what
you
are.
Just moved here 2 years ago.
And how do you like it out in that area?
Oh my gosh, we love it. We moved from Florida. Cost of living was getting insane, and we really like, especially having 2 young daughters, the slower pace of life here, a smaller community, and the fact that it only takes like 10 minutes to get anywhere is fantastic versus the 30 minutes that it would take to drive 5 miles up the road.
Yeah. It does make a difference when you can get places quickly, especially like from your neighborhood and just, okay, I'm running to the grocery store and I'm back home in 20, 30 minutes. It's like, whoa, that was pretty epic, right?
Exactly. And as a mom who loves Target, being able to get to Target in 10 minutes and be shopping is a game changer for my life.
Yeah. And speaking of Target anyway, Target is always packed, right? So when you go in Target, you need to be kind of intentional. Other than that, you could get sidetracked and really just be all over the place in every department because it has so much to offer, you know?
I can get sidetracked in Target being the first person in the door at 8 o'clock in the morning. I like to, I know we're talking a lot about balance in our lives, and I like to go first thing in the morning after I drop the kids off at school. That way I have no distractions from work. I have no distractions from my kids, and there's not a lot of people there.
That's funny. So you're basically the person like how my mom will go in and she can go in and she go down every aisle. I'm like, Mom, we came here for one purpose. Let's get in and get out. Which one? Are you the person that shops the aisles?
I am the person that will shop every single aisle, but I do when I need to be in and out, I'll do an online order in advance so that I can just drive up, drop it off at my car, and I'm not spending more than I ever intended to spend at Target, because when I walk in is when I triple what I plan to spend and plan to buy.
That is hilarious. So I'll be like, I'm in the car waiting for you, Shannon. I'll be in the car. Okay. Because I'm not about to stay here and do this all day.
No, I do like to try and get in and out in like 30 or 45 minutes. So I'm like, oh, I don't need any bed linens today. So we will skip a certain section, but it's usually those first few sections at the beginning that I get stuck in.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, so as you can tell about a wide variety of mommy things because we're both balancing our lives. But Shannon, I want to make sure that I introduce her to you all. She is the founder and CEO of GritHR Solutions. She's a proud MBA graduate of Purdue University and boasts nearly 2 decades of expertise in human resources and payroll that she honed while working with one of the country's largest HR outsourcing firms. Recognizing a gap in the market, that's what we're going to be talking about during this first half here. She envisioned GritHR Solutions as a disruptive force, challenging the status quo set by the big guys in HR. Okay, I'm not going to read her whole bio because I want her to be able to tell you some of her backstory, but welcome, Shannon Anderson. How are you, Shannon?
I'm good. I'm so excited to be here. It's been a busy week, but in mostly a good way. So I've been looking forward to this all week.
Well, good. Okay. So take us back. In order for you to have this passion and this mission and this desire to help women, it sounds like is really what it's driven towards. Talk to us about what made you become so passionate about that.
So it was a combination of a couple of things. One, being in corporate America and hearing all of these things about that guilt or that pressure we would feel, especially as women, especially as working moms, of my child is sick and I need to stay home today, or I need to work from home today, or I just need to use a sick day. And then there was that guilt associated with it and feeling like you're letting all these people down, whether it's clients or partners or even your boss.
Yes.
And then I have a slew of friends that are work at home moms. And before I first want to celebrate, before I say anything else, celebrate all moms, whether they're working from home, whether they are working out of the home, and whether they're stay-at-home moms. We all have such a hard job to do,
Yes.
and we have to lift each other up. And there was such a divide in my mind going on between the camps of working moms and non-working moms that said, well, and society just always saying you can only do one really, really well. And I don't believe that. I believe that as women, we can do both really, really well. We don't have to choose. And so that is part of what led me to starting my company, was stopping this force that said you can only do one thing really, really well and you have to choose. And that is the life and bread of our culture in our organization. And my team is still getting very used to this whole like, hey, my kid is sick, and they'll start over explaining. And I'm like, stop. Thank you for letting me know. What do you need me to do for your client? Do you need for me to contact anybody? Do you need for me to reschedule your meetings? Like, what do you need? I've already let this person know. I've got my out of office up. Fantastic. Go take care of your kids. Work will be here tomorrow.
That's right. That's right. You know what? I feel like we're so much like twins in that regard, because I started a mother dreamer movement, and it's similar to what you're saying as far as the philosophy of it does not have to be either or. It can be and. You can be a great mother, and you can also have a successful career, whether it's entrepreneurship, whether it's being home and managing the home environment, which is still a job. So it's a lot of different hats that mothers wear. And many times it's like you said, pick or choose. And who made that have to be the rule, right?
Right.
So when you decided to do HR, being the grit, I like the actual grit HR solutions. What made you put that wording together? Because that's some really good crafty wording. Grit HR solutions.
Well, I appreciate that. So it was a couple of things. One, I had a boss who introduced me to the leadership philosophy of grit before I even knew it was a leadership philosophy. One day she's talking to me and she's like, you really have a lot of grit. And I looked at her because we were on a video call, and I said, well, what do you mean by that? And she explained the whole framework and philosophy from Angela Duckworth. And she sent me some articles, and I did a lot of reading. And I said, oh my gosh, that really is me. I'm somebody who gets down in the trenches with clients. I'm somebody who gets down in the trenches to solve a problem and take ownership of that and really see it through, right? That's the fundamentals of grit, is that and you persevere through anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so when I'm thinking of a business name, knowing what I want to call our business, I could have been Trusted HR Solutions or Anderson HR Solutions, or, a myriad of other things. And then I thought, something struck one day. I said, who am I? What are my values in business and in life? And how can I translate that into an organization? And that's how Grit HR was born, was being able to communicate to the world, and especially people who understand the philosophy of grit. Like, that's who we are. We are going to be your partner. We're going to walk alongside of you, and we are not going to stop until the job is done.
Oh, that sounds so epic. I love it. I love it. So when people visit your website, gritHRsolutions.com, what is the goal? Is it to partner with the people? Is it to work? Tell me the goal of Grit HR Solutions. How are you walking alongside of people?
Right. So when prospects, potential employees, anybody visits our website, and it's actually going through an overhaul that we're hoping is going to go live in a few weeks, which I'm very excited about the new iteration of it, because it just speaks so much more of our culture than the current one. Not that the current one's bad. This one's it's stepping it up. It's elevated. Mm-hmm. So I'm really excited about that. But it's really about communicating who we are to the world, the solutions that we're bringing forward in the HR outsourcing and the HR consulting space to small businesses, and then hopefully getting them to click on schedule time to meet with us, where we can talk more about what their needs are, about who we are as a business and really see if there are a lot of synergies there in terms of partnering together and,
Wow.
us being of service to their business.
Well, I can imagine that quite a few corporations, I know in the Charlotte area, it's last year, if I'm not mistaken, it was number 4 for like home office headquarters out of the different states. And so I know in different areas, there are people and companies that would be in dire need of your services, especially if they're trying to balance things out properly. What, how do you go about getting these different clients to become your clients?
So we are doing a lot. It took a good 3 years to really figure out our marketing engine, right? Like I started this business. I guess I have to go back a little bit to tell you how we got there.
Right,
Um,
right.
I started this business. I was on the freelancing platform Upwork, where people were posting looking for fractional support, whatever. This is how I started building the business. And I thought for a while, as I transitioned out of the workforce and worked for myself, and my husband was really the one that encouraged all of this by telling me, "You see this need in the market, bring it to the world." And
Right.
look, I was blessed that we were in a position to take a leap of faith. And I thought, okay, I'll just be a solopreneur for a while. That's fantastic. As long as I have steady income and I can help contribute to the household, life is golden.
Right.
Universe had other plans, because within the first 4 or 5 months, I was already hiring my first employee. Um, and so that's how we got there. So Upwork was a large part of it. We've really focused a lot on our social media efforts in terms of we've got a YouTube page and we have an Instagram page. And I think they have literally, maybe the YouTube page has 3 subscribers. But our LinkedIn page is blowing up. Like as of today, we have over 6,200 followers. And that is all from organic growth. We're putting out a lot of video content for small businesses, for how HR can really help a small business level up to the next step, because a lot of people don't think about HR being that revenue driver.
Right.
They don't.
Right.
But when we can get the CEO and that operations manager out of the day-to-day people management and focused by somebody who really understands it, knows how to mitigate risk, and can handle that part of the job because they don't realize how much of it takes up. Now we've got that CEO focused on CEOing for their organization. They're not in the day-to-day. They're now focused on strategic elevation of their business. And that is growing the bottom line because their people function is managed. And so to really answer that question, besides LinkedIn, we're putting out a lot of free content in terms of resources for business owners, like a new hire onboarding checklist. Like, how do I bring somebody on board? What are the things I need to do? We're even doing a lot of email marketing as well. And that's really been our ticket to success.
That's good. Okay, yeah, I'm excited about it, and I'm even more excited because a little birdie told me that it's 100% women owned, right, and women based is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I'm the 100% owner. My husband he works in the business. He worked in federal service for 15 years. And then prior to that, he was in the military for 10 years. So he is a veteran, and I got him out of the military, or not out of the military, out of federal service about 2 years ago, working in our business.
Get out of here. So you done brought your man home.
I brought him home. Yes, yes. He was working for the VA, and now he is our chief technology officer. He also does a little bit of client work, which is fantastic. We have one other gentleman in the business, and then the other 7 people in the business, we're a team of 10 currently, are women. So we're 80% women, but we've got 2 really great men that work on the team too.
I think
So
you're biased. Let me interrupt you. I think you're biased because you're one of those men happens to be your I would consider your Boaz, your husband. So how is it working with your husband in the business?
98% of the time it's actually really good. That's him on the screen right there. When we first moved to Tennessee 2 years ago, we were sharing an office. So at the end of every day, I would be, we're sharing a 10 by 10 room. And I'd be like, I need a break from you. I love you, but I just spent the last 9 hours locked in a room with you. I need a break. Because when we first moved here, we were renting a townhouse. We wanted to get a lay of the land. And we just bought our house here a few months ago. Now we have separate offices. They're on separate floors of the house. And that's really made our relationship stronger because now we get a chance to miss each other. We'll see each other for lunch. We'll message each other on Teams if we need something really quickly. But other than that, like we don't see each other throughout the day. But it's been really good. It's really good having him on the team. He offers a lot to our team and our clients. And he really understands the business on a different level than just a spouse who hears about their spouse's job.
Well, that's good. And I would love to hear too some advice, especially as people are balancing their lives and trying to figure out how to work from home, but then also work alongside their spouses. Any words of encouragement or advice in that scenario? Because you already said get separate offices. That's
yes,
one.
Have separate spaces. Give yourselves grace. There are going to be times when you probably want to yell or choke each other or something. Because there'd be times where I'm like, I'm deep working, I'm focused, and he's trying to talk to me. And in my head, I'm like, can you please just stop talking? But in my heart, I'm like, what he's saying is important. So I need to over communicate. Hey, babe, I really want to hear what you're saying. Can you give me 3 minutes to just get to a stopping point on what I'm working on so I can focus on you? Right. And so really that over communication has been really key. And then in those stressful moments where we're hot, that cortisol is high and we're stressed, we're panicked, whatever. And I wear my heart on my sleeve. He can compartmentalize where I'm like, okay, I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at the situation. Or
the situation, like let's still
my
be happy
frustration
tonight.
is coming out at you, and it's not. And I will specifically stop to say this is not directed at you. It is at the situation. And I am somebody who just has to get it out. So I will tell him, I don't need you to do anything. I just need to let me go. Give me 30 seconds to get this off my chest. And so really that communication has really strengthened our relationship for him to know that I'm not upset with him. My anger is at a situation. And I think that that's really been helpful for us. And even for him talking to me when I can be like, is your anger right now, or your frustration at me, or is it a situation? And I think every single time it's been at the situation. So
That's
really
good.
being able to align that it's us against the problem. We're just experiencing our emotional reaction.
I love that philosophy of being able to clarify too. Is it me that you're upset with and this is directed to me? Or are we saying that this is the issue that we're experiencing and we're both kind of like about it? But we know that at the end of the day, we're not going to let the sun set and we have anger harboring in our hearts. So I love that.
Yeah, and it's really been about that grace with each other. Like, for example, the other day was a perfect example. I told you he does the IT in our company, and something happened with my computer. My computer's screaming at me. The long story short was he had to take my computer and quarantine it, put me on a different one. It discombobulated both of our days. He's trying to rapidly communicate things to me. I'm trying to rapidly communicate things to him. And I was feeling just the frustration of the situation build. And I was like, I'm going to take a deep breath. And I verbalized this to him. And I said, and I'm going to pause. Okay, let me tell you what I'm trying to communicate to you and what I need. Right. And so just us knowing to take that, we've been married for almost 7 years. And so us knowing just to take that time to pause has been so amazing for our relationship. And not just a husband-wife relationship, but a business partner relationship, right? Because, I can't let my team see me stressed. I can't let clients see me stressed. I can let him see me stressed because he's also my safe space.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. So never let them see you sweat. It's really difficult whenever you and your spouse are working in the same environment. And now it's like, we're both sweating. We can't both sweat at the same time. We can't be stressed. We have to, one of us be stressed for a minute. And then the other one needs to be like, hello, everyone, and have the corporate image of what we want.
And it was so funny. Like right after all of that happened, we had to get on a team meeting. And I was like, hey guys, how's everybody today? I had this, it wasn't fake. And one of my VP, he's like, you were stressed in that moment. You hit it so well. And I was like, fake it till you make it. That's one thing as a woman we had to learn a long time ago is we have to fake it till we make it. It's a smile. It's being excited. It's kind of like that duck analogy, that mama duck analogy that you've got 18,000 things going on in your mind at the same time. But to the world, you're composed. You've got it together. Everything's fine. Everything's going to be fine.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. This is good. I'm really enjoying those words of advice. And now, how can other people get involved or get started with something similar to what you're doing? How can they get involved in this process?
In terms of like starting their own business
Right.
or
Well, I'm trying to determine like how others can either get started in working with your business with Grit HR Solutions, and what kind of advice would you give them to be able to get started on that journey as they're watching today's episode?
yeah, so I think if they want to start working with us, they can go to gritHRsolutions.com. They can check us out. They can there's a button that'll pop up asking them to request more information, and they can schedule a call with me because I'm still doing founder-led sales and discovery. So they're talking directly to me about their needs. They can also follow us on LinkedIn. We're just Grit HR Solutions on LinkedIn. Again, all of our content that goes on LinkedIn does go out to YouTube and Instagram, and they can even message us there.
Okay. Okay. And I'm more of a visual person. So I see the website and I went there to visit, and I'm going to pop it up so you all will know when you go and visit Grit HR Solutions, you're going to have a beautiful experience, and they walk you through the process of how to book a consultation. And each page and point always references back to, hey, book a consultation. So make sure that you take a moment. Why grit? Many people want to know, and you'll get some clarity because those with grit have courage and resolve, and they don't wait around for people to ask them what to do. They proactively go out and suggest improvements that no one else thinks of. So anyway, they give you some great strategies, even in their language on their website. So make sure you take a moment to visit gritHRsolutions.com. You'll also see some testimonials and learn more about them and the organization as a whole, and how this turnkey situation can work for your organization. All right, so I'm excited about this. Now, before we would ever close out, I definitely want to hear about this beautiful jewel in your life. Tell us who she is.
That is my 5-year-old Keely. She is the younger of our two daughters. She is very, if you can tell, she's kind of my mini me, at least in terms of looks. She's very spirited. She is my artsy child. And I can't say enough good things about her. She's just got such a little personality. We figured out yesterday they had an assembly at school, and she had to perform, and her hands were in her mouth, and she refused to talk, and she refused to sing a song. So we learned yesterday she very much has stage fright and is very much not a performer, but she did an amazing job.
You know what, before I even put the next picture up, I'm glad you said that, because I'm an author as well. Extreme Balance Makeover is one of my books, and in there I talk about an individualized family plan, how important it is to look and see what some of the gifts and the talents that our children have, but also recognizing some of the areas of improvement and development, and customizing as a parent, the parents, how we can help them get over that particular obstacle. So I'm really glad.
It's like you're in my head, because she is very much, she's got I don't mind talking about this. She's got a diagnosis of sensory processing disorder. So loud noises, certain foods she won't eat. Like chicken, for example. She'll eat chicken nuggets, but won't eat any other type of chicken. And she just needs a little extra, I don't know if coaching is the right word, because I don't know that you necessarily coach your kids, but she also has this unique ability to tune out the world around her. And at 5, I can't let that be your superpower, because that means you're going to get hurt. You're not doing what mom and dad ask of you. But I am trying to teach her to make that her superpower when the world gets to be too much, because when she becomes an adult, being able to tune out the world and focus straight on what you're wanting to focus on is going to take you so far.
That's right. Yeah, you hit it right on the head. So, and yeah, one of my daughter, I only have one daughter. What am I talking about? I said one of my daughters. Actually, right now, you know what? In real time, y'all, I am having a hot flash. So you all will be able to have this in your records in life, that Kim Jacobs, as a talk show host, would go straight into hot flash mode, and it's nothing there is nothing I can do about it to even try to fake through it. Whew, okay, I'm in my own personal summer over here. All right, talk to us about her.
So this is Mia. She's the older one. A fun fact about both of them: they were born 11 months to the day apart. So they are Irish twins. She was born January 3rd of 18. Keely, the other one, was born December 3rd of 18. She is. Both of them love gymnastics and tumbling. But she is my outgoing, social butterfly, knows everybody's business at school in all of the grades. She spills all of the tea from, kindergarten to me, and first grade and second grade. It's fun. That's Mia. I don't
She's
know
opening her mouth to take her picture. You can tell she's animated. She's like,
yeah, she loves having her picture taken. She is getting into purses. They're both getting into makeup and jewelry, and they love being little divas, and trying to just again find those ways to raise kind, compassionate children that are ready to take on the world. I think she's going to be my CEO one day of the world. She's going to do something big. I remember she had to be about a little over a year old. Keely's probably about 8 months old, still learning how to do things. So Mia was almost 2 then. And back when Baby Shark first came out and the whole Baby Shark craze, there was a game that came out that was like that one that we had of the little fish, and you go fishing for them.
Right.
And I was showing the girls how to do the thing, and Mia picks up, and I said, you use your little wand. You put the hook in the fish's mouth, and you take it out. Mia just looks at it, and she picks it up, and she just dumps it over, and she goes, "Look, all the fish are out." I said, "You're going to change the world. You found another way to solve a problem and get there faster, and you're going to change the world."
That's right, and she will, and we don't want to stunt their growth, especially with a mom that has GritHR Solutions. I think you'll be the one that helped make it happen, right?
I hope so.
I am so honored that we've had this time together. And let me see, I saw too that you have a hobby into bullet journaling, and I love do-it-yourself home projects. So what's the coolest project that you've ever done?
Back at her home in Florida, it was one of those old Florida homes that was built in the 50s, and it didn't have a deck. It really didn't have a back patio. So I found some plans online, and I built a floating deck that went back up to our patio that was maybe 2 feet wide. My husband will tell you that he helped do a lot of it. He saw that I was out there, when it came time to, because the frame was already built and in place, hammering the boards in by hand. And he was like, "Look, I've got a nail gun." Boom, 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 boom. I'm like, "So you went in and nailed some boards with a nail gun?"
Oh, wow.
That was your contribution. I had the lumber I measured. I had the lumber delivered. I built the frame, and frames for decks are really heavy. And he did help me kind of get it into place, but all the other work I did.
But he took the credit, right? But it's okay.
He likes to take some of the credit. And I'm like, "You can have 20%. I get the other 80%.
That's funny because of your leadership, it's kind of almost like this friendly competition happening within the marriage, which is cool. Okay, there are comments that came in, and before I let you go, I want you to at least hear some of these comments. So Mackenzie backstage, if you could pop a few of them up real quick in a flash round, I'd greatly appreciate it. Let's see. Well, I see. I know it's live, but caught at the end, so I can find it on YouTube and watch it from the beginning, or should I just reach out to her at the end? I customize clothes and buttons. Okay, Taylor, you can definitely catch this also on YouTube on the Kim Jacobs Show channel. It's going to be there, so you'll be able to catch the beginning as well. Thank you so much for tuning in. All right, let's see who else. Ms. Joy Anderson said, ice. Somebody said, "Hey, some ice water helps with the hot flash." Girl, I went to Chick-fil-A this morning, right? And I specifically asked for a cup of ice water. So hold on. I'm not even going to drink it through a straw. I need to open the lid and drink it. Okay. Are you part of the Tri-Cities Collective, Mackenzie said?
That I am, actually. That's how Mackenzie and I connected to connect you and me, Kim. So yes, I am part of the Tri-Cities Women's Collective, and that's how we all got connected and how I got to be here today.
Oh, that's so awesome. Thank you, Mackenzie. Mackenzie's so funny because she works backstage, but she's like, "Oh, I know I'm going to get my shout out. Don't try to act like y'all don't know that I'm the one that connected this thing. I didn't realize that." So thank you,
I'm in Johnson City too.
Yes, so Mackenzie,
Meet up for
she says
happy hour coffee sometime.
yeah, Kenzie's a mom, so and she definitely needs a few moments of a break every once in a while too. So you two connect. All right, let's see. And you got this, Kim. Don't worry, we love you. Thank you, Victoria. I need all the prayers I can get. Demina says she is so beautiful talking about your daughters. And I
Thank
see all of
you.
those comments coming in. Thank you, Demina, who you'll get to hear from in a few seconds here. Victoria says, I'm loving this. And lots of laughs, hugs, kisses, and every kind of emoji coming forward. I saw a comment from my mom, and somebody said, this is so lovely, this episode. Good morning, ladies. Looking forward to a great show this morning. That's my mom. Woo! How do people stay connected with you?
To stay connected, are they wanting me or you? Because for me, you can do Facebook or LinkedIn or email, or just go to the website and we can connect that way too.
So go to GritHRSolutions.com, GritHRSolutions.com. So I can tell you this right now, Shannon, you're going to have to come back so we can do probably some more time, because this time went real fast, didn't it?
I would love that.
So come back anytime. You're always welcome. Any closing comment? You have a closing comment?
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear you. I'm so sorry.
You're over there doing your own thing over there. You're like, girl, I'm on this phone, chit chat.
I know somebody was like blowing me up because I'm supposed to be jumping into a meeting shortly. So I was like, I'll be right there. So my closing comment, I just want to thank you and your listeners for having me on the show today. It was definitely an honor and a pleasure to be here. And I would love to continue a conversation with you at some point.
Well, I welcome it. That's for sure. Everyone, make sure you stay connected with Shannon Anderson. And here's her contact information is GritHRSolutions.com. We're going to take a quick break and we're going to come right back, and you stay in your seats because we have two more outstanding guests. And this is all about cancer, the cancer experience, right after this commercial break. Take care, Shannon.
Thanks.
Hi, I'm Kim. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry, Mackenzie. I did your job. Can you play that commercial? I hit the button. She's probably like,
hi, I'm Kim Jacobs, the Managing Director of the Charlotte, North Carolina chapter of E-Women Network. I am so excited that you stopped to watch this video. I've got good news for you. You've just discovered an international network of women entrepreneurs who are committed to helping you achieve, succeed, and prosper. We're on a mission here to help 1 million women entrepreneurs each achieve $1 million in annual revenue. Here at eWomen Network, we have a complete success system that supports you every step of the way in building and growing your business. You being here right now is no accident. We're supposed to know about you. We want to meet you to find out how we can help you, as well as learn about what you have to offer. With over 500,000 women connected through 118 chapters across the United States, Canada, Australia, and the United Kingdom, you are never alone. If this is resonating with you, please go to ewomennetwork.com/Charlotte. Notice too my contact information. I invite you to reach out to me and to check out our upcoming in-person and online events. I'm really looking forward to introducing you to our special community.
all right, everyone, we are back. And let me put you up there, Demina, and I'll hold you to a higher esteem than myself. I am so glad to have you all here today. We have with us Dr. Sandra Jackson and also collaborating author Demina Stewart. How are you all today?
I am blessed. How are you? Thank you so much for having us on today.
I'm so honored to have you all on. Demina, how are you?
I'm fabulous. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful, and trying a whole new format here on the Kim Jacobs Show, where we have like some people on the first half, people on the second half, and I am loving it. So how about you? Are you all enjoying your experience?
Yes. I really am. Yes.
Good. I know you guys came in earlier. We did a word of prayer, and y'all have kind of been right backstage waiting for yourselves to come up. So I'm super excited. Listen, everybody, it's some great things that's been happening. I want to take a moment to just let you all know. Well, let me just introduce y'all. Let me introduce y'all right quick. I want to share with you all their bios briefly, but then go into some more details. I'm so busting at the seams to share it. All right, Sandra. Okay, Sandra E. Jackson is the 12th child of the late Bishop Samuel I. Rumpf and elect lady Priscilla M. Rumpf. She is an enthusiastic and self-motivated author, life insurance agent, facilitator, panelist, coach, and CEO of Ecstatic, that represents you so well, Ecstatic Coaching LLC. She's an ordained evangelist. That's why you can hear that in her voice already. She'll preach a word for you. She is a divorced mother of 9 adorable children and has been a Hoosier for nearly 6 years. Okay, so I'm going to let her tell about how she's transformed some of her adversities to become the person that she is today. And I also want to take a moment to introduce Demina Stewart is here with us as well. And Demina, let me go. Yours is, okay, she is a Rochesterian. That's from Rochester?
Yes.
Okay, I'm like, what? Rochesterian, and a mother of 3 children and 4 grandchildren. She has received education as a licensed practical nurse and served for 21 years. So she is all about being a frontline person that helps serve the needs of others. That's not in her bio. I'm just ad-libbing. Okay, she has become a registered nurse and achieved her BA in science in nursing, working at Strong Memorial Hospital and in Rochester, and achieving her BA of science in nursing, working at Strong Memorial Hospital, Rochester City School District in the nurse's office for 7 years. And she is now a life coach at Hope and Healing Coaching in Rochester, New York. First of all, girl, welcome y'all. But it's cold in Rochester. It's cold up there. All right, listen. With us today, Dr. Sandra, I want to make sure I put you up here to just say you are the visionary author of a book called The Cancer Experience, 9 True Stories. Please talk to us about what God did to put that vision in your spirit.
Yes, Kim, Dr. Tim Brink and I were at a gala in Atlanta, Georgia, and we were on the elevator. Don't you love elevator talk? Well, yeah. On the elevator, we discovered that Dr. Tim Brink had cancer as well. And I had known her for so many years and didn't know that about her. I arrived home safely and I fell asleep, and I woke up to God saying, The Cancer Experience Anthology. And I sat up in my bed and I'm like, oh my God. And right away I called Dr. Tim Brink. I said, oh my gosh, we have another anthology. And I told her about my vision and she said, I'm with you. She actually wrote her story within a week and sent it to me. I think it was less than a week. The final copy was submitted to me and her payment was submitted with it. And I was like, the entire payment, all right? And so I was like, oh my God, this is really God. So God told me to do the anthology. He gave me the title, The Cancer Experience. And oh my God, I called Dr. Lotus and I'm like, Lotus, like, I need your help. And she right away joined this project and she submitted her story as well. And we now have, oh my gosh, The Cancer Experience in black and white, and it is beautiful. When you put it, oh my God, when you put it in your hands, like it's nothing like Kim, nothing like you've ever seen before. I'm telling you, there are no books out here like it. It is crisp and beautiful. It's not like the normal size. It's like an 8x5. So it's not like something you can put in your purse, but it is definitely a work of art.
Yes, it is. I'm most proud of it as well. And for those of you that don't know, I actually am the person that wrote the foreword on the book. So
well, Kim, I was getting there, Kim. Oh my gosh. I am like so bursting at the seams to know that the one and only balanced doctor has joined and aligned with this vision, The Cancer Experience, 9 True Stories. And when I submitted to her that I would want her to do the foreword, Kim did not hesitate. She did. She wrote the foreword, and baby, did she ever write the foreword. You have to purchase the book in order to read what she penned. She put pen to paper, and she put words to this anthology that I never equated, Kim. You started talking about riveting. I went to the dictionary and I said, does this really fit, Kim? Perfectly. So I just want to say from my heart, thank you abundantly for joining this and writing the forward for all of us.
Well, thank you for allowing me and affording me this opportunity, because as I did say, and I'm not going to go into detail on what I said in the forward, this is really almost like a roller coaster ride of emotions, things that once you read the cancer experience, you're not going to be able to look at cancer the same ever again. So because of the diversity of experiences associated with each person's own personal experience, it's a life-changing experience. You have to have some tissue and a cloth. If you're like me, you have to have a cloth and make sure that you have some ice water or whatever, because it's heart-wrenching, it's heartwarming, it's heartbreaking, it's a lot of heart touching points throughout this book, The Cancer Experience. Make sure, Dr. Jackson, you might can just take your earbuds off, because they said that the audio is a little bit choppy and I want them to really hear what you're saying. Okay, Demina, tell us, if you will, what made you become a part of this particular anthology?
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you so much for having me on. What made me to finally to decide to be a part of this anthology? Actually, I can't even take any credit. It was my aunt, who knows Dr. Sandra, had said Dr. Sandra is writing an anthology on cancer, and I think you would be good for it. And because I had experienced cancer maybe like 10 years ago, I hadn't really thought about it, hadn't thought about too much about writing a book on it or even writing a chapter in it. But, after I sat down and, prayed and thought about it, I was like, I think it was good that I needed to unpack my experience, because I think my experience will help somebody else that has just newly gotten the diagnosis of a cancer experience.
Yes. So that's really good that you're there in the book to encourage other people that just got newly diagnosed, and you're giving them some strategies and tips on how to bear the news, which most people would consider very bad news, right? But then to experience you, Demina, you are and I didn't even say this in the forward, so I know I can say it now. I don't look at cancer the same way because of you all, because of how y'all are like the cancer experience, and you're so motivated and so excited. I'm telling you guys, and it's not anything to be played with. It's not something that should be downplayed or joked about. But these are people that literally have experienced cancer themselves. So they're not telling you something that they're not willing to practice themselves. Exactly. I love your philosophy on how you all are kicking this thing in the head at a whole different level and inspiring other people. Okay, Dr. Sandra, I'm gonna pop all of these pictures up, because I really want to give honor to every person that's a contributing author in this book. So let's put this up and talk to us for a second about each of these authors, and I'll pop their pictures up.
Thank you so much. Dr. Lotus is the one on the left hand. Yes, that's Dr. Lotus. And Dr. Lotus and the Lotus Ignite team is the one that did all of the graphics, the amazing, just eye-struck graphics for this project. And her team and her were such, oh my God, I don't even have the right words to say about her team. Like, they're top notch, They
really are. They're global too.
And if you give them a vision, like I had to feed her my vision from my mind, from God's mind to my mind. So it trickled down, several, stages. But once I visually gave it to her, she saw my vision. She didn't try to tweak it. She didn't, nothing. She just went about trying to execute what I was saying to her. And that's what I most appreciate about that team. They get in there with you. I can't say enough about them.
That's right. I can't say enough about them either. It's incredible, the outcome. And then you get this, the
Right.
cancer experience. And this is beautiful. And there, everybody, is a QR code right at the bottom of that image. Please make sure you scan it and you can get a copy of the cancer experience and be able to have a copy of that book. Okay, tell us about some of the other authors that's in
All
there.
right, so Cynthia Shaw. Cynthia Shaw is right next to Dr. Lotus, and no, that's her daughter. I'll talk to her. You could
Here
have.
we go. I'm sorry. I have some
Cynthia
beautiful
Shaw.
pictures back here.
Yeah, she is phenomenal. She is in Greensboro, North Carolina, and she has a husband named Pearl Lee. Now, Pearl Lee went through cancer. Yeah, that's her. That's her. All right.
Get that picture
So
back up again.
yeah,
Wow. Right.
Cynthia talked so um, deliciously about her Pearl Lee, honey. Made me want a Pearl Lee. All right.
I know. That's like I love
Pearl Lee, come on. Now she was so creative in her discovery about her husband. She didn't take her challenge lightly, and that's what I appreciate most about her. She gathered Pearl Lee's pastor,
Mm.
which his pastor spoke highly of him.
Mm-hmm.
He was a sports figure. He played in football. She
Mm-hmm.
gathered some of his comrades from that field, and they wrote in there about Pearl Lee. Oh my gosh, I can't say enough about Cynthia's story. You really have to purchase this book.
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Okay, who else? And I mean, I don't think I have every person's picture individually. So I'm just going to leave this up and you can talk about each
Right.
of them.
So Cynthia's daughter, which is Natisha, you just popped hers up.
Okay, so that I was like, they look alike from over here with my glasses. I was like,
Right.
what is that?
So this is Natisha Pittman, and this is Cynthia's daughter, and this is Pearl Lee's daughter. Now, Natisha had cancer the same time as her dad. You could take that picture.
Crazy right there.
That's what I'm saying. So you can feel the love and the passion and everything they were going through at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Kim, if you could take that down, I just want to say, Natisha describes in her chapter like what that meant for her and how they bonded before her dad deceased and how he loved on her, and so now she has fond memories of her dad because they had something in common at the same time. And it's just riveting. That's the word.
That's bizarre right there. And you have to get the book just so that you can understand the dynamics associated with them going through this at the same time. This is unbelievable. I know what's happening. One of the images is in a different file format, so I don't have.
You couldn't put it up, but that's all right. So then, all right, and so I don't know who you have in there, but Dr. Barbara Tinbrink. Dr. Barbara Tinbrink is right next to Natisha's picture, and she is a scientist. Mm-hmm. Now, Dr. Barbara is the one I was talking about. She is the one that started this whole thing, started my mind going. And Dr. Barbara, she's out of Texas. Okay. And she was like, Sandra, let's do it. She pushed it. Like, she made me know that this was God and that it was all right for me to go ahead and get this job done. And Dr. Barbara, she had cancer 50 years ago. And she's never
so encouraging.
That's what I'm saying. And so, Kim, you hit it out of the ballpark because that was the theology we want. There she is. We wanted everybody to understand that cancer does not have to mean a death sentence. And that's why we put the faces of everybody and just all over the network, because we want people to know if your doctor tell you this, it's not a reason to be frightened and scared and just think that you're going to crawl up in your bed and die. You're not. Right. It doesn't have to mean a death sentence. It can mean another opportunity.
And speaking of death sentence, and I just want to chime in there and just say, well, this is my personal philosophy, but again, I have never had cancer diagnosis. So sometimes when you're speaking about some things, you can't speak about certain things unless you've experienced certain things at the level that you really can have the compassion that you need to have, because you don't know what you're talking about until you pretty much experience it yourself. But what I believe from a spiritual perspective is that if a person passes away with cancer or if they live on this earth with cancer, in my opinion, they win either way.
Come
And
on.
that's because of my spiritual belief
Yes.
that there's an eternal resting place.
That's huge. Yeah, that's huge.
Demina, what are your thoughts on that?
I think that hit the head right on it. And yes, you're gonna win either way. Whether you remain on this earth, you're able to tell people, you know, that I've been through it. I know the hills and the valleys, and I'm a living witness that you can overcome as well. And even if someone transcends, you know, they still won, because guess what? Cancer no longer has a hold on them.
Yes. Wow. Okay. Let's keep on going with some more of these authors.
All right. Author Larry Singleton. Author Larry Singleton is the gentleman. He's very humble. He wrote about Hodgkin's lymphoma, and it's a tough cancer, and he wants men to know that they can survive. And he's also an author of Po Boys.
Po Boys.
Prayers and Po Boys. He tells his story in a way that I've never gleaned. He writes detail for detail, and you just have to read his story because he brings that thing alive. He makes you feel what you're reading. He helps you to understand his mindset when he was going through his battle. He tells you to eat. He gives you poignant advice because many people stop eating and try to do the health route. He did the opposite, and he tells you why. I can't tell you enough of his story, and you will be able to see him soon. I will interview him on my show, and Kim will interview him on your show, and Dr. Lotus will interview him, because we want that story to be wide.
Yeah.
Because everybody needs to know that you can live, you can have a vibrant life. He works a job, he helps the community. His heart is huge. I can't say enough about him.
Wow. Okay. Wow. I know it's 9 true stories, 9 true stories. So to hear the backdrop of some of these different authors, all of them couldn't be here today, but all of them have collectively done something that has made history, in my opinion. So we're going to talk about that in a few minutes. But let's talk about the next author.
All right. The next one is Maria, whom you invited to join. That's Maria Marvel Staub. And to meet her is to love her. Yes. Maria is just a gem all the way around. All right. And she had cancer years ago, but she had it 3 times. So she's the voice, she's the face of that individual that we want to encourage, that if it comes back, there's still life and vibrancy in you, and that you can fight this thing and you can win. She's a winner. And I tell her all the time, Maria, you are a winner. And of course, she gives all glory and honor to God.
Yes. And Demina, I know we kind of keep interjecting and I keep throwing you out a question. Can you just tell us the name of your chapter by chance?
The name of my chapter is called Say It Isn't So.
Woo! That right there will preach, y'all. Say it isn't so. All right. So when readers read your chapter, what do you want them to walk away feeling and hoping that they learned and gleaned from your chapter of Say It Ain't So?
I want them to know that no matter what life throws you, you still can overcome. You can be empowered. You can be encouraged. And although you are going about living your daily life, there sometimes comes to be a speed hump in your life. But just go ahead on and buckle up and just, hold on to the word of God and keep on going. Because when the doctor gives you that diagnosis, the dreaded diagnosis nobody wants to have, and you say it isn't so. You talking to me? You looking for me?
You're saying it professional now. Say it isn't so. That ain't what you saying. You said, say it ain't so, Joe.
So they talking to you. But no matter what, you can overcome.
Wow. No matter what, you can overcome. Yes. Say it ain't so. Y'all, you got to get that book right there just to read her chapter. Go ahead, Dr. Sandra.
She needs to tell you that she had cancer when she found out. Demina, can you tell them When you found out you had cancer, what did you see?
Oh, the story is just so crazy. I found out I had cancer because I had back pain. And so important. If anything is out of order in your life, make sure you go to your doctor, because what's abnormal in one area can be projecting to be something else. You know, I had struggled for a year back and forth to the doctor. They were saying it was a muscle strain, physical therapy, muscle relaxants, on and on. But I continued to be persistent until they found that I had a mass on my pancreas. And so through the multiple doctor's appointments, I just want to point this out, and then I'm going to have my seat. I had went to a Muslim doctor, and when he looked at the diagnosis, he said, "Oh, well, you don't need to make a follow-up appointment because you won't be here. So we don't need to worry about that." And what was so profound to me was he put his hand on my shoulder and he said, "God bless you." And he walked out the door. And then I got angry and I turned my face to the wall. You know how Hezekiah did, turned my face to the wall. And I began to pray. I said, because he don't tell me that I don't need to make a follow-up appointment. He might be somebody's God, but he's not my God. And I began to get angry, and I just began to tell God all the things that I knew that he had planned for my life and that I had not planned on leaving this earth.
Girl, I have chills all over me right now. And you know, I told you I've been dealing with some hot flash stuff, right? But right now I got a calm and a coolness that's just feel like I'm in air conditioned room with what you just said, what you spoke over my spirit. Wow. Yeah. Just the doctors are practicing medicine. And so God has given them their gift too. So I never want to downplay the gifts that the physicians have, because they have the wisdom that many of them receive because of God giving them that particular gift and talent. But they are practicing. That's why we say we're practicing medicine. Yes. Ultimately, the ultimate doctor is God.
Yes.
Go ahead, Dr. Sandra. Talk to us about the rest of these authors.
Well, I wanted to make a point with Demina because I didn't hear her say it. She may have, but who had it at the same time you found out?
Oh, yeah. So I was going
because that's poignant. Because people with affluent people with lots of money didn't make it when she found out that she had the same type of disease they had. God's loving kindness. Hallelujah. Michael, go ahead, girl, because I'm like stirred.
Yes. So at the same time I was going through my cancer experience, you always want to find somebody that you can relate to. And it just so happens, you know, that Steve Jobs and another gentleman by the name of Randy Posh were going through pancreatic cancer as well. And so, you know, and unfortunately, you know, God bless them, they're no longer a victim to cancer, you know. And so as they were going through, and I remember, I just want to say this, and I hadn't said this to Dr. Sandra. I remember being in Wegmans and it flashed on the TV that Steve Jobs had passed away. You would have thought I knew him. I had a fit in Wegmans and I kept saying, oh my God, if Steve Jobs, he is a billionaire. And I was praying to the Lord. I said, I'm just little old me. If he a billionaire and he didn't make it, I know that I'm not going to make it. But it was something about being in the bathroom in Wegmans.
God
said to me, you trust in me. You don't look unto nobody else. You don't worry about what Steve Jobs went through. You worry about and continue to keep your eyes affixed on me. And I had this whole encounter in the Wegmans bathroom. And from then on, when God spoke to me about that, I continued to go on.
I'm so grateful that God gave you that personal encounter in Wegmans and kept you motivated and inspired, because you're here today to tell your story and your testimony, and it is going to bless so many people. It already blessed me and the viewers on the Kim Jacobs Show today. Y'all, listen, make sure you follow Demina Stewart on Facebook. That's where you can find her. I want to make sure that you also know that you can follow Dr. Sandra E. Jackson. Connect to her YouTube channel and make sure that you check her out on LinkedIn. And her specific LinkedIn page and information is here, Dr-Sandra-E-Jackson-1343 BB. B is in boy, because we have audio podcast listeners. So you need to be able to know that information. All right, talk to us about this final author, if I'm not mistaken, that you have here in the book.
All right, we have Pastor Mary L. Farmer. She's
Yes.
the senior of our entire package, and she dropped some nuggets. Her prayer is a poem. At the end, all right, so at the end of each chapter, the authors submit a prayer for their readers. And I love that. I absolutely love that you're going to walk away from each story knowing that that author is praying for you. God told me to do that. And it was so easy for them to submit their prayers for you. Hallelujah. I feel so good. Hallelujah. I haven't even talked about my story, but I'm telling you, Pastor Farmer is the senior. She has crafted a story that you must read. All right. She had cancer, and it was a very trying type, you know, those hard, difficult types that the doctors say that we don't know. And when you hear a doctor say, we don't know if we're going to be able to, that sentence right there makes you a little edgy, you know, a little tensed, a little stressed. But hallelujah. But she trusted her foundation is in the name of the Lord, right? And so she trusted in God to bring her through. And now she gets to put pen to paper and tell the world her story of survival. I call them conquerors. I want to share with you also, Dr. Kim, that Dr. Lotus wrote about her grandmother. She wrote some very important things about her grandmother's theology, you know, and sometimes we hold on to bitterness. We hold on to these teachings of old, right? And we graft them and form them and shape them and teach them to our children and generation after generation. But Dr. Lotus is trying to bring across to men and women, whoever reads her chapter, that these theologies just may not be good to hold on to. All right. Hallelujah. It's all right to let some stuff go.
No.
Yes. My God. And so can I talk about mine briefly?
Yes, you can. Listen, y'all, we're going to have this as a special edition of the Kim Jacobs Show. We're not closing out until we finish with this brief conversation that you're going to share. And I want to share a video with people too. So we'll be closing out momentarily. Go.
You know what? I'm going to briefly tell you all about mine, but for real, I really detail my story from a different vantage point and tell you a conversation that I had in my mind and between God and my doctors. And I tell you detail for detail, you would never believe my story. But in a nutshell, I'm running into work. Have you ever ran into work late and tried to get to that desk to check in really, really quickly?
Yes.
That's me. So if you can follow my vision, you'll be able to follow my emotion. All right. I run to my desk and my phone rings in that moment. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm clocking in and I grab my phone out of my purse, didn't look to see who it was. And I say, hello. And on the other end of that phone was my doctor's nurse. And she said, Sandra, are you sitting down? And I said, I can. I can sit down. And so she begins to tell me that the diagnosis was not favorable. And like Demina, because I have a foundation, since I was 5 years old, I got baptized in Jesus' name. 9 years old, I spoke in other tongues. God filled me with the gift of the Holy Ghost that I cherish all my life, even today. And so what I did was I clocked out. And I went into the bathroom stall. Both of us got a bathroom story, baby. You got to get bathroom stories in order to live this life.
Y'all preaching sermons. I need to take notes on this.
I went into the bathroom stall in the handicap section and I began to dance. My God. I danced, I picked my feet up and I put them down. I danced as if I had music playing in the background. I danced because I knew God would appreciate me saying thank you, because the Bible tells me in all things I am to give thanks, because this is the will of God concerning concerning me. And so in that moment, I danced my face off. And when I finished dancing, I began to tell God, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And then I begin to tell him, I'm going to need you through my struggle. I can't do this on my own. I'm a baby. You know, I'm a mother of 9 children, but I'm still a baby. I'm my mama's baby. And my mama is gone. My daddy is gone. I don't have nobody. I'm overwhelmed with raising these children.
Nine children, y'all.
Come on, I can tell you a story if you want to hear a story. All right. I just finalized my divorce, just moved to Indiana. Come on now. So many things happening back to back. And now I get the message that the calcifications were no longer calcifications. Now I got a whole full-fledged lump in my breast. And what in the world am I going to do? On that note, you got to read my chapter, baby, because I'm not telling you another thing.
Oh my gosh, y'all, you have to get the cancer experience. The cancer experience, the cancer experience. You have to get the cancer experience anthology. And there's a QR code right there. Dr. Sandra E. Jackson is the visionary author. Make sure you scan that code. It will take you right there to be able to purchase it. And some great news. Let me put these comments. I know Mackenzie is slightly after 12, so I don't want to, can you do a flash round of these comments real quick? Let's see. Mackenzie's backstage helping me, y'all.
While she do that, that banner from the Kish magazine, I have to blow that banner that you keep putting up with all the faces. That's from Kish George. Follow her. Yeah, she did. See, Kish magazine. If you want this type of banner for any of your projects, I highly recommend her. If you want any of the flyers or graphics, reach out to Dr. Lotus. She got you.
Well, Victoria said, look, I know you didn't just leave it like that and just drop the mic. That's
yes, I did.
Like, what? You left us with a cliffhanger, almost like a Lifetime movie. It's like, y'all better get the book so y'all can hear the rest of her story. All right, preacher, Miss Joyce said. Demina said, come on now, doctor. Come on, come on. Y'all are a mess. Victoria said, a bathroom sermon? Oh, bathrooms. Victoria is giving praise and honor to God. Let's see. Lots of comments have been just coming in. It is amazing. Baby, multiple times you had to run. Oh, I love this, Kim Jacobs. I'm so glad that you're enjoying today's episode, Victoria. All right. Woo! Lots of comments came in. Listen, if you all, I love Pastor Farmer. She is the sweetest thing ever, Victoria said. Yes, your story wasn't over. You have so much more work to do. Okay, that's what Miss Joy said. Y'all, if we don't get a chance to get to all, my God, Victoria said, I'm so happy to hear you feel that way. And lots of comments have been flooding in. They'll take a moment and come over to Facebook and answer some of your questions and comments. That is beyond shocking and disgusting. Something that was said. You look so beautiful, Miss Stewart. All right. People giving shot. Mecca said that. And Mecca like, hey, you married over there?
Mecca is my son. So
that's your son. I'm like, but that's because he got his mama love. He loving his mama. He needs to be taken out of the practice talking about the doctor that was saying that to you. So everybody have their theory surrounding this. I've never heard anyone say it was back pain at first. That is shocking. Yeah, because that's very enlightening to people too. Say it ain't so, Joe. Victoria said, I love how passionately everyone is speaking about this book. I can tell it comes from a special place. Saying it ain't so is such a nice point, Taylor says. All right, y'all. We're going to have to, talk, Demina Stewart. All right, y'all. Let me just put up here for one brief moment. If any episode of the Kim Jacobs Show has been a blessing to your household, if it's bringing balance to your home, in some way, things are being better because you're tuning into the Kim Jacobs Show, make sure you take a moment and Cash App $Kim Jacobs Inc. Or you can also send it to paypal.me/Kim Jacobs Inc. You can even do Venmo at the Kim Jacobs Show. But this is how we're able to bring balance to the world, one household at a time, Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You all have a great status that you have achieved, and I want to pop this up and celebrate with you all today. Woo-hoo! #1 new release in survival biography. Amazon hot new release #1. How do you feel about this?
I'm ecstatic.
Number 10 in survival biographies and memoirs. Number 13 in survival biographies. Number 50 in personal transformation. And y'all, you know how many books are out there on Amazon? For y'all to be achieving this status is simply nothing but God's blessings over you all as authors and knowing that it's going to salt this earth. So I congratulate you and thank God for your victory. And I also want to say thank you to you because you sent me a beautiful certificate for writing the forward.
Yeah.
And you put my BD, balanced doctor. I am a doctor. I'm balanced
That's
doctor.
right, baby. And Kim, right now, if you go on Amazon, we're still in the top 25. We're number 25 right now. So what I want to say is go right now. Hurry up. Hurry up. Go purchase that ebook. And guess what, Kim? The paperback is out and the hardcover. I'm a hardcover type of girl, right?
Yeah, me too. I like that.
I'm a hardcover type of girl. But I want to say this to the audience. You're going to pay for what you get. This is quality. So this is not like a 1999 type of book. All right. I want you to go and get the hardcover copy. Go and get the paperback book. It's in color. It's in color. Can I say it again? It's in color. In color. So it's going to cost you a little bit, but you're going to have a work of art. All right. And go right now and don't forget to write a review. Read a chapter and write a review. Why? Because that helps the algorithms go up really quickly. You see other people's books have 1,000 reviews. You're really helping them. Tell your friends, your auntie, your mother, everybody to go get the Cancer Experience. We wrote it for you.
So this is where you can get it. It's right. The link is here on the screen, and it's https://square.link/ it's a whole bunch of stuff on here. Okay, but you got to go and click on that link and purchase your copy. I'm going to leave it up on the screen for a minute here. And where else can they just go to get the copy? Do they have to put all of this?
You can get the copy on my website, but we can't put my website on. So look for Journey into Purpose LLC.
Journey into Purpose LLC is where you'll also be able to get a copy of it, but I can't put it up on the screen for
right.
Journey into Purpose LLC.com, but I'm not able to put it on purpose because she requested that I not. So, okay, drop the mic. We've heard all of that. I do want to just make sure that I show one more thank you video because it's because of you. It's because of you all that they were able to accomplish this level of achievement in so many categories. What did you want to say, Dr. Sandra?
Victoria put a Square link in the comments section and they can purchase it right now.
Yes, that's what I just put up on the screen, the Square link. So that's the link right there. You can go purchase it. Go purchase your copy today. Even if you get an electronic copy, go get some kind of copy of this beautiful, masterfully written book, okay? All right, and I want to play this thank you video to all of you that have made this possible. Here you go.
Congratulations, we did it. And thank you for making us Amazon's #1 bestseller. The Cancer Experience, 9 True Stories is available on Amazon in ebook, paperback, and hardcover. Thank you again for your support.
Congratulations, ladies. Congratulations. Give me a closing comment, Demina, if you will, and then we're going to close out with a closing comment from Dr. Sandra. Demina.
Continue to be encouraged, stay empowered, but most of all, keep your hand in the hand of Jesus.
Woohoo! Thank you for those encouraging words. I already read the whole thing multiple times, actually, but I can't wait for you all to read it. Okay, Dr. Sandra.
You got this. No matter what you're going through, remember one thing, you got this. Everything you need is in the inside of you. Tap into your reserve strength and energy, pull it up and pull it out because you're going to make it. Trust God.
Trust God, you're gonna make it. Trust Jesus. Say it ain't so. All kind of great words of encouragement today. Y'all stay connected with them on LinkedIn for Dr. Sandra E. Jackson, and for Demina, stay connected with her on Facebook as Demina Stewart. And make sure you don't forget to please go and subscribe to the YouTube channel with Dr. Sandra E. Jackson. It's been my great pleasure and honor to have each of my guests on today. And thank you all for being in the virtual studio audience. Purchase your copy. Victoria has put it in multiple platforms. Make sure you go and purchase your copy of The Cancer Experience, 9 True Stories. And you can click on the link to get your paperback or hard copy. Lots of congratulatory messages have come in. So somebody said, let's do a show on Hot Flashes. Girl, you gonna be my guest? Because I need a whole panel. And then I need somebody to take over hosting whenever I need to just take a moment, go backstage and wipe my forehead. It's not because I'm nervous at all. It's because I am having a
But I tell you what to do. Hot lemon water, raw honey, and apple cider vinegar. I never had a hot flash. And I turned 59 years old. All right.
Hot lemon water. What else? Honey?
Raw honey and apple cider vinegar.
Oh, Gina, like they say, you done told a sister something right now.
I've never had a flash. Yes.
Now, let me get off this show. I'm over here taking notes like I'm in class with Dr. Y'all, thank y'all for tuning into today's episode. We had Shannon Anderson on earlier, and she did a phenomenal job. So make sure you all stay connected with her. And that's at GritHRSolutions.com. And then I also gave you ways to stay connected with my 2 lovely guests for the second half. We've had a wonderful time today. We'll see you tomorrow on, again, here on the Kim Jacobs Show at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Go get The Cancer Experience. Beautiful color. Okay. All right. Go ahead. Take it away, Mackenzie. Mackenzie, like, get off this show.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of The Kim Jacobs Show and for being in the virtual studio audience. Your presence truly does make a difference, and I look forward to you bringing your friends and family to join you in the virtual studio audience Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I look forward to seeing you and make it a great day.